This is the Aldora Devlog. Let us begin. Okay, so since I spoke about things yesterday for the devlog, today I've done a lot of work when it comes towards the game as a whole, and I want to showcase it. So today we're going to have a lovely little look at the initial area, so let's hop into the game. Jumping into this, what we'll see is the village of Aldora has not actually been touched. If we jump onto our super speed running motion, we can run all the way over to the Erendir castle. Now, Erendir looks pretty much the same as it did yesterday on the outside. When it comes in towards the inside, I do have a little bit of a surprise for everyone today. This is because I've been modelling. Now, I wanted to keep the basic structures of like modelling very standard, very simple, because I'm going to be applying my own textures of my own hand drawings so they actually meld with the 2D sprites. The entire objective for this is mainly just due in part that everything actually blends together just a little bit better, because it's a combination of 3D buildings with 2D sprites, because there's only some limitations when it comes towards building 2D sprite assets into a 3D world. Now, that being said, if we walk in, we can see that I've changed some of the dirt, so it actually looks like there's horses and people that have been in, and as you can see as we come in, I've constructed the basic setup for the buildings. Now, I created all of these buildings and everything within the literal engine of Unreal 5, and this is because they have a lovely little modeling tool in here which I have never tested, even though when I was developing Void I could have probably gotten away with actually using this very well. However, I started using this and I tried to make some basic sprites animations for this. Now, I'm using a lot of the same textures at this moment in time. I'm highly considering changing the rooftops so they don't blend as much with the beams on the houses. However, I wanted to check out and see how the sprites actually interacted. So obviously the building is 3D, however that window with the black outline is 2D, and it's been placed over the top. You can just about see it to the edge on there. We walk in, it's got the same textures as the bricks and the buildings with the 3D beams and also the barrels in here as well. So if you actually have a look, you can see them there. But this is just to see how the 3D objects and the 2D objects interact within this. If we actually go a step further, I did do a little bit more than just the basic home houses, because obviously this is a city, and I did actually make up the initial barracks. Now, the initial barracks is not going to be the inn because we're going to be making that. However, I did make a chimney stack with some lighting effects, so when you're walking in here your character has a base shadow going on with this. I think this looks pretty cool. However, I do need to change some of the textures within this just to make it a bit more rounded out. And everything that you see here I did model, so pretty much the objective for this game is to make everything. And when it comes towards all that, we have the lovely little 2D fire inside, because we can actually sneak in at this moment in time, and we can then see that the fire is emitting a lovely light and all of that. I did actually build this up with some stairs. We do need some pillars to brace out everything, but I want 2D banisters for the stairs, due in part that if we have 2D banisters then it will look a bit more fleshed out in all of that. I actually textured the floor as well to go along with the standardized tiling, and you can see that the chimney stack goes straight through the actual building. There is windows that I applied so you can actually see out and that into the actual world. And then if we actually jump down, we can then head all the way over to a lovely little area over here, which I actually built out as well. So the city's actually building out quite nicely. It's looking a bit more like a city now. However, this made me think of a basic building structure like this. And I wanted things like, if you wanted to go over to your profession trainer, there's a blacksmith in the city. So I got the random chimney stack with the smoke effect at the top and the fire at the bottom, mixture of 2D, 3D and particle emitters, and to create that chimney stack that goes into the literal building. Now the building is very simplistic, so if we go into here we can see that we've still got the basic shape, everything. This is just a scaled down version of the chimney stack in the barracks. However, this is where the blacksmith will be with all the 2D assets like the anvil and the hammers and everything to that, and he'll be working away. And it's mainly trying to combine my imagination with how everything's going to work. If we go along here, we do have a little bit of a barn in here, so we can walk in and have a look. It's just a basic barn with the roofs. And then if we follow forward and go back round into the actual area, we can come back down the actual city streets, which actually looks pretty cool. And we can go into the nice little courtyard with a standardized barracks once again. We do have our buildings all let out for our citizens. And also there is a lovely little 2D well that actually goes there as well as all of that. Head over towards another chimney stack because I wanted to reuse this asset to make it see what I could actually do. And I placed some stools down on the actual floor where the people can just like congregate or something to that effect. There is a couple of other buildings that need to be done. I did do quite a few of the buildings. Now there is a couple of little things that need to be actually done when it comes towards all of this. However, I'm very pleased with how the buildings have actually come out and just blended all together into starting the literal city part. This is the part of the city that's pretty much set up with the buildings. You can see from above that the actual city is like that. And then we can start constructing from the left hand side all the way over to the right hand side with the construction. So we've got the blacksmith area, that will be where the congregation people are over in there, that will be where the cooking is, and we can have a look at this by going into stats and then go over here, go to professions, and then you will have your one there. I will have to add cooking to your profession tab, and then what you need to do at this moment in time in my head is just go to your profession trainer, which will be in the initial area, and depending on the blacksmithing area, what recipes have you learnt from the initial items, which will be in your bag, and you can learn those recipes, and then it will just come up and say which ones you want to craft from that particular list. That being said, I want to build out a bit more because that's like the villagey area with like the people and everything. And then we got to make a few other little different types of things moving forward. If we actually jump out of this and go into the buildings, I can pull this tab up of all the constructions that I've actually been working on. So we've got a barn, a barracks, blacksmithing area, we've got the castle tower, city homes, we've got a fireplace or a fire stack, chimney stack to be precise, walls, a keep, which I'm probably going to be redoing because it just doesn't look good. And we need a town hall, lumber mill, and an inn to go along with that. And then we can just use the blacksmithing hut as the profession areas. That means that the player can then determine where is a leveling area by just seeing that blacksmithing hut thing, and that's where the profession trainers will technically be. If we take a better look at this from a bird's eye view, we can see that it looks a far lot better from above as well. And it's just building out quite nicely in the grand scheme of things that you can just walk in, have a look around and all of that. So that's basically my update for today. I kind of overdid it because I was working from 4 in the morning till 6 in the evening, and it would pretty much overdid it when it came towards modeling and trying to get everything as right as I wanted it to be. But other than that, I'm really happy with the results that so far from yesterday's work. Other than that, I'm going to get to work on building out a few more of these buildings and substructures. And other than that, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.